Sick of all you sycophants, ignorance and miscreants, simpletons and little ants, trying to split their sentience. People peddle pestilence land, pipe on their settlements, and I don't think it was even food for it was excrement. Get your head in it, second wind represent.
Yo, what
shit,
is up?
kid, I
This
never
is
stepped in it.
Techquila.
My
This is the
record is
podcast
older than
where nerds talk about tech while taking a shot of tequila every 10 minutes. But this is a sober thoughts episode, so that's not going to happen. I am your host, Daniel Regueira. With me today, I have, again, Mr. Holden DePardo.
Hello.
What podcast are you from, Holden?
I am from Respawn Aim Fire. Every Tuesdays, it's a video game podcast.
Boom. And then I have back, yet again, Mr. Daniel Yoon.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hello. What podcast are you not from?
All of them. It was a tough question.
I'm here to ask the tough questions. Today we are here to talk about the Google event that just happened. Today's Thursday. It happened on Tuesday. Yeah, we're about to talk about some Google shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no shots to take. We can just go right into the damn thing. So yeah, first and foremost, Holden mentioned this in like a group chat we have. Where he linked a video to something that was pointing this out. This phone leaked like a motherfucker, the Pixel 3.
Yeah, this is the most leaked product I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like, I think normally a statement like that, I'm like, that is an incredulous statement, but I think I agree. Like, it's fucking
The only
ridiculous.
thing closest is the iPhone 4, and like there was a picture of it.
Right. Right.
Only one.
And that was like, that was drama as fuck, because like a dude left it in a bar or like a beer garden or something,
Yeah.
and Gizmodo got it somehow. That was a whole thing.
Well, it was enough of a thing that Steve Jobs made a joke about it on stage and got a reaction. So like,
Right.
if that was a big deal, this phone has been seen for the past 6 months, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
So I guess we'll get into the phone, but let's go,
Yeah.
I guess, chronologically according to what happened in the presentation. First and foremost, I just want to say I saw on Twitter, and I think in some of like the videos after the presentation I saw, but the like employees working there had these overalls. Did you guys see this?
Oh,
Nope.
Let me see if I can link you real quick. It's these like
yes,
white
please do.
overalls. Here, right here. I'm gonna this specific link. Click, copy link to tweet. Can I do this in Hangouts? Yes. Where's the chat function? There it is. Okay. Incoming. Link incoming. Boom. These overalls, people were like, this is ridiculous. Why are they doing
Oh
this?
my god.
I kind of
That is
like
horrible.
it. I kind of like it.
You kind of like it? Why? It looks
I don't know.
terrible.
I'm not disagreeing, but I kind of like
If you scroll down a bit on the tweet, they explained why they did it. Because obviously it's for the big notch right there.
There you go. Oh my god.
So now you gotta link this to your listeners.
That's right. There's a dude who just took a picture of the overalls and like drew the overall shape, and it looks like
And it is shockingly similar to the Pixel XL notch. The XL notch.
oh my god.
It's a very deep notch.
That's hilarious. So that's a thing. I'm not going to defend my like of it. I kind of hate it, but I kind of like it.
I'm not asking you to defend it. I'm just super curious.
It's a thing.
Like,
I don't know.
What is it?
I appreciate the attempt, at least. I don't know
Okay.
if overalls are the right fashion choice,
Yeah.
but I appreciate the attempt at something like cutesy and
Was
I
it
don't
like a
know, whimsical.
crafty, like hardworking and crafty? Like I don't know. Like no one likes overalls. Like I don't know anyone who like wears overalls anymore. It's really odd.
Yeah, I've seen people wear overalls in public, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Like even farmers ditched overalls decades ago.
Oh man, so that's how they introduce people to the event. So event starts. They start talking about AI like they did last year, and then they took an interesting turn where they start talking about how well awarded the Pixel 2 was. In terms of just like as a good phone, and also the design of it, which is really cool. Something I noticed that was pretty funny was they started adopting the Apple parlance of saying like Pixel instead of like the Pixel.
Yeah.
Which
The whole thing was very Apple. Even the going back and saying like, this is the history of the Pixel line so far. People love the Pixel phone. Like all that stuff is very Apple.
right. So that was just something I noticed. And then so after they talked about how well awarded the Pixel 2 which was pretty cool. Actually, they talked about all the design awards that it got, which is really interesting. The design team led by Ivy Ross kind of killed it, in my opinion, last year. Like, they did a good job.
I love the design. It's great.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it applies to like all the products that they released last year too, like the Google Home Mini especially. I think looks pretty cool. To the point where like the Amazon Dot, right? The small one.
Yep.
Is like emulating it, the newer version, the 3rd gen, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. It looks so similar because the original Dot was heinous.
Yeah, I have one in my home because we got one for free like not a month ago, and I'm not a fan. I might just get a Google Home just because I have this piece of shit in my home. Anyway, so yeah, that was cool. I just, as a designer, I was like, I really appreciated that because I thought I saw someone's take last year on the Pixel 2 and the Google design in general as like being very Scandinavian and modern, and I kind of agree with that take. It feels like a Volvo or like a I don't know, like somewhere between like Volvo and
things
IKEA.
Like the orange button accent color, like little things like that are just not your typical design that you see.
Which is pretty dope. But and then they did this thing. I love how they teased it after talking about all the devices. They're like, okay, so like, Pixel 2 had all these awards. It was great. And then like, now we have the Pixel 3. Look at it. It's amazing. We have the Pixel Slate and we have Google Home Hub. And then they had this like elevating platform thing in the middle of the crowd, which is hilarious. It's like, this is the first look at the device. You only get a 30-second look at it, and then it's going away.
Did you notice how like not many people actually went up to go take pictures of it?
Most people were like, what the fuck?
They're like, oh, we've already seen it before. We all have pictures of our site. It's fine.
I'm actually surprised, talking about how it leaked, I'm surprised at how the phone leaked, but everything else didn't, as far as I know.
It almost makes me think it was like orchestrated for publicity's sake, Like, they leaked a lot of stuff, and most of it was spot on.
Did the Home Hub leak at all?
I think the Home Hub leaked, but not to the extent that the Pixel 3 XL did.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the Slate did as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not too familiar with that, but I'm pretty sure it did.
But like, no one cares about those leaks. Like,
yeah, the phone's what everyone's focusing on. But there were some leaks that didn't end up happening, like the Pixel Buds showing up and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, they teased the crowd with this like platform coming up out of nowhere. It was a really weird moment.
Yeah, even the host, or I forget the guy's name, but the guy, the presenter,
is it Rick Ostrela?
Yeah, he was taking pictures of himself as
from the stage.
From the stage.
What the fuck?
Like, isn't that a back view of them? I don't know. That was kind of strange.
That is really weird. And then at some point, like, they were transitioning, like the platform was about to go away, and then he like called someone out in the crowd, and he's like, "Are you trying to take one? I would too." But don't do that. It's like, what a weird little moment.
Like, I'm sure it was fine between him and that other person he's talking to, but just for the random internet audience to hear,
everyone else, it was like, that was weird. But yeah, so that thing happened, and then they went right into introducing the Google Home Hub, and so I'm gonna say all the things about each one of these products, and then we can just kind of start talking about it. Okay, so it's an Amazon Show competitor, which I want to reiterate, like I have in the past, that the name Amazon Show is terrible. And for those of you that don't remember, Amazon Show is like an Amazon Echo with a screen, and so it's this like mounted tablet thing. And yeah, I don't know how else to describe it other than a mounted tablet, but that's it. It has
it's like a Google Home Mini in the back, almost like
a speaker kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks like the kind of fabric of a Google Home Mini as the base,
where like the mesh, which I really like actually.
It's funny you describe it as a thing because it literally runs Android things.
Is that really what it's called? Like
that's what it's called.
That's their Internet of Things operating system. That's hilarious. I didn't even know it was running Android things. That's amazing. So yeah, it has this like really nice mesh that it's mounted on, but otherwise it's just a tablet that's mounted. It has
it's supposed to kind of just disappear.
Yeah. And then there's this interesting ambient light responsiveness that it has going on. Because they were talking about like, we don't want a shiny thing in your bedroom all the time, so it's highly sensitive to the ambient light and like being appropriate light level for that light. etc. So there's that, and then the use cases they were using in the presentation, to me, seemed to be like exactly the same as the Home, but with a screen. Like the one they were using was like a YouTube video on how to knead dough. I was like, okay. And then what was interesting is the hub offers one place to control like all your smart home stuff. Like it's kind of like a Nexus, as it were. I don't mean the product. I mean like a single place.
Would you say it's almost like a hub, maybe?
There you go. Boom. And then they also talked about how the...
Oh, is that where the name came from?
Boom.
Oh, it just clicked.
You got a soundboard for that?
I should. I need like a boom. I'm going to note that down. Mario sound for soundboard. Anyway, so yeah, they have if you swipe down, it'll be like the control of your smart home. And then also they introduced like a new redesigned home app for those of you that have like a Chromecast or anything like that. You know what that looks like. But they redesigned it such that you can control everything from like one central screen, which looks a lot better designed than it currently is, and I'm happy with that. And it has the Google Home Hub apparently has deep integration with Nest devices since Google now owns Nest. So like, yeah, if someone like knocks on your door and you have the like Nest camera thingy, it'll show them on your Google Home Hub, and then you could respond and be like, yo, I'm coming, or like, get the fuck out of here. Or whatever in between that spectrum you want to respond with.
No, only one of those two options.
That's right. You can only respond with that. That is all you have.
Yeah. It's a limitation technology, but it'll get there.
And then the price is $150 in like 4 or 5 colors, I think it was.
Yeah.
Actually really attractive.
All right, so go.
There was
opinions.
A pink one that was kind of weird. I don't get it, honestly. I think that the use cases seem to be applied for a kitchen and like looking at recipes, looking at multiple timers. I can't see a point of having this, honestly.
I 1 bajillion% agree. Like, I get a use case for like the audio device, like an actual Google Home, but like I don't like if I need to watch a video on something, like I'll just get a tablet and like watch a video, or like my laptop. Like a lot of the time we'll have a laptop up next to us while we're cooking to like look at a recipe or whatever. And
the screen of your laptop is even bigger, and you already have that device.
Right. Or if you want like a YouTube video and you have like your phone on you or a Google Home, you just be like, hey, Google, I just triggered my Pixel. Cool. Fuck. You'll say, hey, Schmoogle, Chromecast X video on, the TV, please. And that's it. Like, I don't get it. I really don't.
I feel like you need... Go ahead,
I kind of got the vibe that it's like a. I'm just trying to think. So my parents bought this. They got this thing. It's like a little calendar and like thermostat that's got indoor and outdoor measurements, and it's really crappy. It's like $20 worth. But like they hang it up on the living room wall, and it's just kind of there, and it's like a centerpiece. And they look over it, and they're like, "Oh, look, it's cold outside." And I'm like, you could have just opened the door, but it's still pretty neat.
Is that like one of those things where it's like? It's like the floating little bubbles inside of a giant liquid stick, and it's like, oh, if the 75 degrees floats all the way up, that's 75 degrees. No, it's not.
No, it's a little digital thing, okay. But like this feels kind of like an upgrade for that. Like for those families that like have calendars actually hanging on their walls and don't use Google stuff. It's not made for techies. I don't think. Like it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't. No, you're right. It doesn't do anything particularly well. It just kind of does everything the Google Home does, just with a screen.
But what is the like use case wise? I don't see any difference really between this and the Google Home.
Think about the use case too, and I think you're right in the sense that this isn't for techies. Like you and me aren't going to use this.
That's fair.
But at the same time, thinking about someone who would use this. So let's say that they want to use this. They want to control the lights in their room. They want to control the temperature in the apartment, that kind of thing. Now you're getting up to go to the wall to a stationary device. You're getting up anyway. Like you might as well have gotten up to hit the light switch. Like
you can control these things.
You can talk to it and all that kind of stuff too, but you can also talk to a Google Home already. You can already control those kind of things from your phone. Like
or take out your phone. Yeah,
like any case you would need to use this, your phone's going to be with you, or your Google Home's going to be arranged for you to talk to anyway. Also, the screen aspect to it, I feel like could be useful if it was in every single room, but not if it's just in one room.
Mhm.
Like I use my Google Home Mini really just as an alarm clock. It's my primary purpose for it. I mean, I use like the kind of smarter features where like it will wake me up with my podcast in the morning and that kind of stuff. But it's not my podcast. It's like my podcast to listen to.
Yeah.
I'll wake up to myself. That'd be really narcissistic.
I couldn't do that. I would hate it.
That'd be so strange. But I don't know. I just don't see this. Like, I think that anything that you would really need to use this for, you can do just as well with a Home or Home Mini. And if you need a visual aid, you have the Pixel phone. And just to jump ahead for a second too, you also have the Pixel stand, which seems to do like the Pixel stand's the wireless charger for the Pixel 3 and 3 XL, which basically
is like
turns
same functionality.
Yeah, it's the same functionality. It seems to do the same thing. So if
Yeah.
you're going to get a phone anyway, you might as well just get this and spend $80 to get that stand in a bunch of places that you want it to be in, as opposed to $150 for this one specific.
Or
device.
$50 for the Google Home, and like who needs a screen?
Yeah, it's well priced though compared to a Google Home. I will say $130 versus $150. Go ahead. Sorry.
The use case that I'm seeing, I just kind of thought about this, is like, so you got a family, you know, they appreciate technology but not super techy, so they probably have like one of those Ring doorbells. They got Nest thermostat. They got all this stuff. And they may or may not have some sort of central hub device, you know, maybe have an Amazon Echo or like a Google Home Mini, but they got disposable income and they're like, all right, well, I want to upgrade, you know, Google Home Mini, whatever, it's cool, but I want something with a screen. So it's something that it's not too hard to use, you know, they can drop it in the middle. It's a good centerpiece. It looks good. But it's just sort of unites the whole smart home environment in a very user-friendly way.
That's fair.
It's not really a use case, I guess, but I feel like that's its niche. That's what it's going for.
That is, and there's value to that for sure. Like I get what you're saying there.
And I think it will be better with a display, absolutely. Like it's going to be better to see those things. If you want to splurge, absolutely, I'd go for that one over just a normal Google Home.
Right. Like, you know, like I have a Pixel. I'm not going to get this. There's no point for me to have it because, again, like you said, you have your phone, you have the Mini, you got everything, you know. But some people were just fans of that whole like living in the 21st century kind of vibe, I guess.
Right. Can I say that's right. The screen, if we're going to talk about like this as a mantelpiece or something that people need to use, the screen, oh my God, all the bezels. Like this looks like a Samsung tablet from like 2009. Like what the fuck?
But it's also, it's $150.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, for the price point, I guess I can't complain. But as someone who likes pretty things, I don't like it.
It's
Am I the only one who's still sold on that bezel look?
I will agree that like the price is great because like when they said $150, I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought 200. That was what I was thinking.
Right. So like for $150, I guess that's a pretty good deal. It's just I don't know. It's
a $20 difference between that and the Google Home.
Word. I mean, I would never get a Google Home just because it looks like an air freshener, in my opinion. I would rather the Mini.
Yeah, it's a little splurt of air comes out of it every once in a while.
I know, that's what it looks like. It looks like the thing that makes the sound while I'm peeing. Like.
The only reason I have a Google Home Mini is because it came with my Pixel 2.
Oh,
right. The only reason I
remember that.
So otherwise, I wouldn't even have one. I've kind of been against the whole speaker thing.
That's fair.
I think your phone does everything the speakers do.
Correct. This is true. Okay, well, I guess we can move on. I'm on the website now, just trying to look at all the damn colors. It's not even available for sale. You have to pre-order. Mm-hmm. What are the colors? There's 4 colors. There's the regular white with like the mesh gray base. There's a black. Oh, the base changes color, but the tablet doesn't. So it's black base with the black outline, and aqua, so it's like a teal aquamarine kind of thing, and then a sand, which is like a light pink salmon kind of color. Okay,
but they're not pink color.
It's very similar. We'll get to that soon. Okay, next device. So the next device they announced, they went into the Pixel Slate, which is really interesting. So they had I'll just break down all the details, and then again we'll keep talking about it. So they had they really harped on the screen. The screen is 293 pixels per inch, which apparently is 6 million pixels on this size screen. Dual front-facing speakers. It comes with 3 months of YouTube TV, which is like their cord-cutting cable replacement service. It has a wide-angle front-facing camera for like, FaceTiming. Well, not FaceTiming, duoing or hangouting with people.
Dude, just duo me.
Duo me, fam. Yeah. They didn't really pick a great name for that.
They did not.
Let's hang out.
Plus, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go duo with John, Paul, and
It sounds like
Beth.
you're about to it sounds like a euphemism.
Yeah, exactly. Or just it's duos. Never mind. All right. We'll just keep.
So wide angle camera, and then they say that like Chrome OS, the newer version, is kind of redesigned around this tablet. I haven't seen many videos or takes on it. I haven't looked at the tablet myself, so I can't confirm that. The power button has a fingerprint sensor in it, which is interesting. The keyboard looks pretty cool. They were talking about how cool it is in the presentation, and then so the price for this, it's $600 for the Pixel Slate. With a keyboard, it's $200 on top of that, and then with the pen that they didn't really say much about, it's an additional $100. Opinions, go. That's it.
I'm not much of a tablet guy.
I feel you on the not much of a tablet guy.
I don't know how this compares to the Surface. Maybe the Surface was a little too revolutionary when it came out, but I think this is a little too late. There's nothing to be said about a new tablet, in my opinion.
I mean, I think the power of the Surface Go, is that what they call it? Mm-hmm. I think the power of the Surface Go and the Surface line in general is the extremely accessible price point and the power of having a desktop operating system at that extremely accessible price point. I think it's something that both Chrome OS and iPad Pro is missing, because having a full-fledged Windows operating system on a tablet that's super mobile is extremely powerful. And I am not that familiar with Chrome OS. I know the power of Chrome OS, and the reason that it's so popular is that they have, little Lenovo or whatever the fuck tablet or little laptop form factors for Chromebooks that they have in schools for like $100 or $200, and that's really good for education. Outside of that use case, I don't really see the point for this operating system.
So
that's just how I feel.
This is I'm a little conflicted on this product. I agree with you guys are saying, and I also think the exact opposite in every way. I think it's dead on arrival in a lot of ways. I think that at this point, iPads dominated the tablet space since the beginning. Yeah. Microsoft's the only one who's really been able to get in. Android tablets have sucked. They've been terrible.
Yep.
Even people who are hardcore Android fans still think iPad is the best tablet you can get, which says something.
Although I had the Nexus 7, and that's what got me into Android. But that's a smaller e-reader style thing, as opposed to full tablet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This running Chrome OS, I think, is a big deal. Google is working on something called Fuchsia, and I haven't talked about it too much, but it's basically going to be native app support for Chrome OS. So you could have real apps, not like smaller web apps.
Well, Fuchsia's interesting because I think it also will replace Android. It'll be.
I'm curious to see if it does that too.
Kind of like what Windows is trying to do with Windows 10, and the universal crossplay through Xbox.
Right, but then they're they have to. It's different in that Windows has been DDoS based through and through, and this is a completely different. They're not using a Unix kernel; they're using what is it called, Magenta kernel. So it's a completely they're building it from the ground up.
Think more like iOS, Mac OS in terms of how this is going to work, where it's going to be the same kernel across multiple OSs for mobile and desktop, but they'll have a tailored operating system. And I think that this could be huge for Android because there really hasn't been a good Android tablet because it's not tailored.
Right. I mean, the Fuchsia thing is going to be the Fuchsia thing. I don't think once it comes out, we can even call it Android anymore. I don't think they're going to. I mean, they might roll it out in Android, but I don't know.
But I don't think it's going to be this. I think it's going to be a background change, really. I don't think it's going to be something. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be something in the forefront. They're not going to.
So it's not going to be a branding change.
No, maybe I don't think it's going to be a branding. Maybe it'd be a branding change. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be an interface change. And I think it'd be weird to not change the interface, but then change the branding of everything completely. So I think it's going to really maintain the same, but just something in the background. And Fuchsia's more of a code name than anything else. Mm-hmm. So I think that by getting Chrome OS and getting Chrome OS out there as much as they are, getting them in schools, getting them out cheaply, they're laying down the foundation that way that they can just release Fuchsia, have this huge update to everything.
Like a user base.
Yeah, they already have a built-in user base. But I think that if they can do that successfully with a tablet that has a decent user base already with a Pixel Slate, it could be a good thing for them. But I think that Yoon kind of hit it on the head with it's too late. And they really should have done this like after Fuchsia came out, and they could have made a bigger stance with this because the hardware is really great.
Yeah, the hardware on this tablet is dope as fuck, and I want to see.
The software is lacking.
They talk about in the presentation. They talked about like redesigning Chrome OS around this, or like just a lot in general, but then like around this hardware. And I want to see what that means. Like I have yet to see it, so I can't really give opinions.
I can kind of share a little bit on that. It's just like little UI things that like. I don't have a specific example, but it's basically just whenever a mouse would have been ideal to click on something and you have to use your finger instead, they're going to tailor that so you have a bigger touch target. That's basically what it means. But also adding in like the deep links and apps so that you can jump somewhere specific to an application. That's something that's in Android. They're adding that into the suggestion area for apps in Chrome OS for the Pixel Slate. So it's little things like that. Nothing huge, but it's just for functionality and usability throughout the system. Okay.
I'm also there's a really funny like dig that they had, and I don't know if there's any like truth to this at all. But they said something. They were talking about the Pixel Slate and Chrome OS, and whoever was presenting it, I think the guy's name was like Trond or something. Really interesting name.
Was it Trogdor?
Trogdor. It was literally like Tron with a D at the end, which was bizarre. But he said something like, it gives you a full desktop experience, not one designed for a phone. So they're taking shots.
I mean, have you seen the specs on the highest tier?
Of the Pixel Slate? Nah.
It's got an i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a beast. How much is that one, though?
It's $1,600.
Woo!
Yeah, that's expensive. Holy shit!
This is straight up a Surface competitor, which I don't know. Like, what?
Wait, how much is the most expensive iPad Pro? How much is the most expensive iPad Pro? The most expensive Surface is definitely around $1,600.
Even with Wi-Fi and cell, it's still $1,200. Well, I can add Apple Care. There we go. Let's do that.
I also added keyboard and add the Apple Pencil.
Right.
Although, actually, no, don't add that, though, because the 1600 with the Slate doesn't include those things.
Yeah, the pen or the keyboard. Yeah. Damn. So plus the pen and the keyboard.
That's an expensive keyboard, too.
Holy
$200,
shit.
That's way more than Apple charges, even for their smart keyboard.
I know. Even if it's, like, super nice, like, come on, man.
Yeah. But that's kind of been the thing I've noticing, though, is that whenever Google makes hardware now, it is a premium device. The Pixel devices are expensive phones. Not compared to iPhone XS maybe, but they are expensive phones compared to other Android phones. Pixelbook is more expensive than other Chromebooks by a lot. It's $1,000 Chromebook. That seems kind of ludicrous. And then we have an Android tablet, which tablets are usually around, like, for Android, usually like $300-400 in like in the good range of products. You can obviously get things cheaper. $600 is in the high end. They're just making kind of high end premium versions of everything.
Right. But this, man, I really don't know how to feel about this. I think the proof is in the pudding when it comes to the OS as opposed to the actual device. And I don't know shit about Chrome OS because I haven't used it personally. So like outside of like the like super cheap accessible market that made it blow up, I really don't think this is anything to write home about as a product.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's cool, but that cheap, or the demographic that likes to buy inexpensive products because they just don't want to spend a lot of money, which is Chrome OS, is not the same as this market.
Right.
This is Chrome OS.
Right. Like outside of like the cheap education market, I don't really know. I don't really know who's getting this.
Even the cheap education market.
They're just straight up competing with Apple.
Yeah.
This is the Apple demographic right here.
Yep.
But they've already got iPhones.
And iPads and iPad Pros.
No,
and Macs and everything.
But you know what, though? I'm on it. I went from iPhone to Android this year, and I'm using an iPad still. If they did have an Android tablet that was just as good as an iPad,
more importantly, just as user friendly. Just as integrated. It basically has to be everything that iOS
I think Android, but it being Android by nature would do that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've had friends go over and they just get so frustrated with Android, and this was like about a year ago when they were still trying to get their shit together, but they switched back to Apple because they're just like, I can't handle it. I need something simple. I'm not here for a powerful device. I need a phone to, Snapchat.
I think the same thing can be said for the other direction too, though. People who go from Android to iPhone will go, oh, I can't do this. I'm so used to how my Android phone worked, and they'll go back again. I think that's true of Mac and PCs as well.
Well, I'm interested to see this slugging match go down.
Yeah, I don't think Chrome OS in its current iteration is, I don't know, worth my time, personally.
No, it's not. But it's also, we'd like to, I don't mean this is going to sound like totally elitist and like it's snobby, and I don't mean it to, but I think it's a valid statement. Some people do things with their computers. Some people make things with their computers. Mm-hmm. Some people don't. Some people just browse the web and just look at stuff.
Right.
And those people can use Chrome OS and they're going to be fine. But
but not for like
hosting a podcast
$1,000.
Right now. You can't do this on a Chromebook.
No. My little brother got a Pixel book and he didn't open it up until they finally got a stable Linux kernel release for it.
There you go.
That's funny.
Just saying.
But that's that's my point, is like if you need a device that just like browses the internet, you're going to get like the cheapo Chrome OS, not this fucking super expensive one.
Well, not necessarily. Yeah. Again, like why do people buy, iPhones and iPads?
But
right?
You can still do really cool things with an iPhone. That same thing cannot be said for a Chromebook or for a Pixelbook.
Well, not yet. That's what we got to see, I guess.
Not yet, but it's kind of that chicken and the egg thing where developers will make things once people are there, and people will be there once developers make things.
I do think Google has more of a unified vision at this point. Like again, they're sort of playing catch up with Apple with the whole Duo stuff, but I think they're on the right track now. I think they finally got a cohesive story together, and unfortunately, it means all their stuff is getting more expensive. But
do you think they've gotten more cohesive than they were before, or than another company?
Than they were before. They're definitely not up to snuff with Apple. More so than like Samsung, though.
Yeah. Which is like a brand new phone every year. No vision, whatever. New year, new vision. But no, I agree. Google's definitely gotten a lot better with that. Google Duplex could have been one of those Google Wave things or Google Buzz where it just kind of disappears after a while. Google Plus is still around.
No one uses it. They killed it, or they announced that they're killing it this week.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay. I was about to say, it's kind of like if a tree falls, no one's around to hear it. Does it actually make a sound?
Exactly.
It's like that. Both Google Plus instead. What was they going at? Oh, yeah, but they announced Google Duplex and said, oh, this is like a preview thing earlier this year. And I'm like, oh, we'll see that at some point in the future next year or something like that. Who knows? But no, it's coming out in November. So they're definitely better about saying, hey, we're doing this, and we're actually doing it.
Right.
But I think, but I think they're in their AI stuff. I think they have a more cohesive vision than anybody else.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's just this tablet is, I don't know, such a like meh until they really drive home the fuchsia, uniting Android and Chrome OS. It's not going to be a thing. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah,
and we have to see what that looks like. We don't even know what like fuchsia is going to look like when it comes out. Like we have zero idea what that's going to.
It's also been in development forever.
I know. Like. But we don't know how it's going to make itself like manifest, I guess. Like we don't know if it's going to be, like a full-fledged, like just revamp, or if it's just going to be like you're saying, like a behind the scenes kind of thing. Like we have no idea. I know that like on was it the Pixel book? You could like beta it somehow or some shit.
Yeah, you can beta it.
I forget. Basically, the Pixel Slate is for people who are making fuchsia. That's what this product's for. That's a thing.
See.
Yeah, I was looking at the Midnight Blue one's pretty slick. Anyway, we should move on. Before we do, this is upon advice from fellow podcaster Chad. I'm going to remind all the listeners that if you want to submit topics to the podcast, you need to go to the subreddit. The subreddit is reddit.com/r/Techquila. If you go there, you submit stuff. And it's not super weird, we'll talk about it. Or maybe if it is super weird, we'll talk about it. We'll see.
Someone's going to test the limits of that.
We have seen.
And then also reminder, if you enjoy the podcast, please head over to the Patreon account. The Patreon account is patreon.com/Techquila. And there, if you donate $1 a month, once I hit the goal of $30 a month, I will be putting the logo of Techquila on shot glasses and sending it out to all patrons. So if you want that, head over to the Patreon. Woo! Okay, so going on to the Pixel 3 that was announced. Yay. Yeah, so I guess I'll just read off all the details. I mean, like, we know so much about it from before. So, like, first and foremost, the design looks very similar to last year, except for the fucking notch.
Ball sack just hanging off the top, like someone just planted it on there.
It's not great.
Anyway, and this is facts, not opinions time, right?
That's right. That's right. And if you compare it to like even to other Android notches, let alone the iPhone notch, it is deep. Like it is in there. Like
it's the most egregious notch released, and it's also the last one to be released.
Correct. It's the most recent one, and it's the worst. Like by far. Yeah, it's bad. Anyway, okay, so they had 3 colors. They had what was it? Just black. Hold on. I want to get the colors right just because it's hilarious. Let's see. Let's look at the colors on the website. They have. Hold on. Drum roll. Clearly white, just black. I got it right. And then they have not pink. So that's a thing. Unfortunately, they don't have the Panda two-tone in XL anymore, which kind of sucks.
That's terrible.
The Panda's dope as fuck. Or the Stormtrooper, as they called it.
I think they should have named all the colors and made it really confusing. Just not black is the pink phone, not pink is the white one, and not white is the pink phone.
There were a lot of, like, with the not pink, a lot of, like, fragile masculinity jokes. Like, oh, my shirt's not pink.
My phone's not pink.
So it was so funny. To be fair, it is actually not pink. It's, like, it's pink adjacent.
It's like the rose gold iPhone. It's fucking pink.
Yeah. It's like so close. There was this girl, I forget, it's Nat, I forget her last name, but it's the Verge employee. And she had like a bunch of pink shit next to the not pink one. And she's like, see, it's not pink. It's not pink. I promise. My phone's not pink. The not pink one has the orange button now. The clearly white one now has the like that mint button, that like mint aquamarine button, and then the just black is literally just black.
And that's the single reason right there where I'm glad I bought a Pixel 2 before these phones came out.
Because did you get the Panda one?
I got the Panda with the orange button. The orange button is so nice looking.
It's so slick. I love it. People also call it the Stormtrooper. That one is slick as fuck. It's so good.
Oh yeah. So I'm not upset. Although they are still selling the Pixel 2. So if you want to get a Pixel 2, you can still do that.
Correct.
It is. It's odd though. It's $649 for a Pixel 2 and $699 for a Pixel 2 XL. That's the same price the Pixel 2 was, but they dropped the Pixel 2 XL by $150.
Ooh.
I thought that was kind of strange.
Wait, so is that a better deal? Wait.
No, it's a worse deal. It's the same price the Pixel 2 was last year as it is this year. It's the same exact price.
Oh, that is a bad deal. What the fuck?
Yeah. But then the Pixel 2 XL, they dropped the price of that one, $150. Just not the Pixel 2.
That's so weird.
It's very strange.
That's so weird. Okay, on to the other things about the Pixel 3. So when you buy it, you don't get a Google Home Mini, but you get 6 months of YouTube Music, which is a garbage service. But I am paying for... I got like grandfathered into YouTube Premium because I'm paying for Google Play Music, and I was like $10 a month. Like, fuck it. I guess it's nice.
Same thing with me. So I have YouTube Music as well. It's not great.
It's like I don't even know. It's like a shittier version of Spotify for videos. Like, I don't.
The only thing I like about it is that I listen to a lot of house music, and sometimes there's like a bootleg version of a song or a remix that you just can't get anywhere else, but there just happens to be. Yeah, it's really good, but it's only on YouTube. And it's good for that.
Not rip MP3s off of YouTube anymore? Is that not a thing?
Oh, you can totally still do that, but now I don't have to because I have the YouTube Music app on my phone.
There you go.
I guess you're paying for the convenience, but I don't know.
Well, I was already paying for YouTube Red. So I didn't. It doesn't cost me anything extra, so I might as well use it.
Yeah. So like they grouped YouTube Music, YouTube Premium, and Google Play Music like all together now for the same $10 a month.
Yep.
And I just got grandfathered in. Having no ads on YouTube's nice. That's
I'm
really
on YouTube all the time. That's why I got it.
right. So yeah, you get that for 6 months. You get what they call Top Shot. You get what they're calling Super Res Zoom, new feature called Night Sight, a wide-angle selfie camera.
Night Sight's coming to Pixel 2 XL as well.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Pixel 2 as well.
So you have wide-angle selfie, Google Lens in the camera app. You still get unlimited photos with Google Photos. Or unlimited storage, I mean. You get this new call screening thing, which is interesting. You get this thing they're calling Flip to Shh, and that's all I have written. But okay, I guess let's start with Top Shot.
Yeah, a lot of those things, and this is just because the website's this way too, but a lot of those things are also on the Pixel 2.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, most of those things they have on the Pixel 2 as well.
Right. I don't think Top Shot's one of them.
No, Top Shot's not one of them.
Let's explain what it is. So Top Shot is this thing where when you take a picture, it is taking a picture like before the picture you're taking for like, I don't know, I think it's like a second or two. Mm-hmm. And then it provides, like those earlier snaps if you need them. So like if I take a picture and I'm blinking, then I can just rewind and then there I am not blinking, which is interesting. I don't know if it does before and after or just before.
So it shows you like, you ever take like a burst photo on your iPhone and it shows you all the little thumbnails of every single burst photo you took?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. You can like jump back and see like different versions. Mm-hmm, You'll see like just a little like thumbnail on the bottom of the screen.
But I think it's just going back as opposed to going
forward.
I
see what you're saying. Yeah,
well,
I don't know.
Actually, one cool thing is it says that it automatically detects the best shot with machine learning.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, yeah. That's that whole AI vision coming together. I like that.
I do like that. That is pretty interesting.
So you shouldn't even have to look at the interface at all. It'll just happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll give you an option, like if you just blink in all of them, or like people are winking in succession, like which one has the least winks in it or something.
Yeah.
But no, this is the future right here.
But I think it also, from what I saw in the presentation, I think they're also giving you an option to like scroll through the options as well. You know what I mean? Like
you had that option too. Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll automatically be like, this is the best one. And you'll be like, maybe not. And then you'll look through. But so yeah, that's dope. They have this thing called Super Res Zoom, which I also think is Pixel 3 only. And they're using the idea of, apparently they got this from, I don't know if it's NASA specifically, but like space agencies. And they will use the like micro shakes of your hand to take multiple little photos and cross-reference them so that when you digitally zoom, it doesn't lose all the quality like it used to when you digitally zoom, which is interesting. And it makes like a more better resolution zoom when you zoom into photos digitally. That's super interesting.
Well, that's also been the one drawback of not having dual cameras on the back of the phone.
Right.
Is the extra zoom.
Right. Like no like optical zoom like the iPhone has, which is fantastic. And also like, as a I should say enthusiast photographer, I am like acutely familiar with the difference between like digital zooming, just like cropping the photo, and
it looks like horrible.
Optical zoom,
digital zoom cannot look good. It just never does. Right.
And so this is interesting. I didn't even know that space agencies did this shit until they mentioned it in the presentation. I was like, what? So that's dope as fuck. I would love to try that out and just see what the photos are like. I'm sure there'll be a breakdown somewhere. And then, so feel free to interrupt me and like give opinions. So there's Night Sight. I don't know. Is this one of the ones that's coming to the Pixel 2 as well?
Yeah, they said this is coming to the Pixel 2 as well.
Okay. Okay, someone else take this. Go.
I'm going to read off an article. A machine learning camera hack designed to inspire people to retire flash once and for all. That's nice.
I'm down with that.
Night Sight can visualize a photo taken in extreme low light. And again, this comes back to their machine learning thing. So basically, it tries to fill in the content of the frame and do color correction in detail and kind of get rid of that graininess that you get if you shoot in the dark. And that's about all I've got. I mean, I'm not sure how they're going to implement it and what it is, but
they showed some side by side photos, and obviously it's marketing. They took the best example possible,
right? And the worst example possible of the iPhone XS. Yeah,
exactly. And it looked really good. It looked like it was a big improvement, but we'll have to see in real life what that looks like.
Yeah, and I wonder just like UI wise how it works. Like maybe it's like where the flash option is, you toggle it on. I'm not sure, or if it's just automatic or what.
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't fucked with that at all. But it's interesting. One could even say that
It's lit!
Oh. But it isn't, though.
That's exactly.
It's literally the opposite.
Just let me use the it's lit. Just let me.
You can use it whenever you want. Just not at this moment. This is the exact wrong moment to use it.
Okay, so that's an interesting new feature. They have this is a hardware feature, which stands out on this list. They have a wide angle selfie, which is
basically
the reason.
Zoom out.
Yeah, it's the reason
Zoom out
there's
selfies.
2 front-facing selfie cameras, and I guess it's part of the reason that the notch is horrendous.
It's a cool feature, though.
It is a really cool feature. If you look at real quick though, if you just look at like the front of either the Pixel or the Pixel 3 XL, just humor me. It stands out more when you look at the Pixel 3 XL. But if you look at the the speaker and the 2 cameras, it looks like a little like emoji that's like raising its eyebrow at you. Like it's like, what the fuck? And I feel like Google is mocking us. Anyway.
This zoom out feature, zoom out selfies, I think is one of the most clever things they showed off in the whole keynote.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that Apple should have come up with.
That's exactly my thought. So like, that's exactly where I was going with this. Apple has been really good at saying, hey, the industry's going this way, but we're going to zag instead of zig. We're going to go the other way instead. And everyone's been doing dual rear cameras for zooming, portrait modes, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And Google figured out how to do zooming in software. They figured out how to do portrait mode in software.
Right.
So they didn't need to put a rear camera in there, right. But they can't do this feature in software.
Yeah, that's like physically impossible.
It's physically impossible. So they had a much smarter allocation of resources in their phone, I think, in the company to make this happen. Really clever, really smart. One of those, oh, duh, of course that's how it should be.
Yep.
And I don't know. I was really, really impressed with that. Even though I don't take photos ever, that was the coolest thing, I think, at the keynote.
But it is cool. It is really sweet to like have a selfie camera that goes. I forget.
Second coolest thing at the keynote. Sorry, second coolest thing.
There you go. I forget what the degreeage is, but it goes a lot wider, which is super cool. So that's a thing that I like a lot.
Is it enough for you to forgive them for that notch?
No.
Yeah, I agree. Not at all.
No, but I'm also like not really into big phones anymore. So if I were to get one of these phones, it would be the 3 as opposed to the 3 XL.
Mm-hmm.
Personally,
I'll say I saw them both in person today, and the 3 XL is the notch is not as bad in person as it is in photos for sure.
Okay, I'm
just so not a fan of notches that I'm still not a fan of it. But you can still go in the settings and turn the notch off if you want to. You still have that option.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes,
you can do that. There's also an app called Nacho Notch,
like nacho cheese.
Yep,
that's amazing. Amazing.
And it puts a black bar at the top, but all the little like notification icons will be in the black space, so you're actually gaining real estate without seeing the notch.
Oh, that's pretty fucking sweet. But then you have to grant it you have to grant it root access? How does that work?
I don't know how that works, but anything to get rid of the notch. You can do anything to my phone.
As long as it doesn't require root access, like I'm into
here's my social security number, get rid of the
notch. Please, take my firstborn, anything. Like, what do you need? What do you need? My girlfriend? Here you go. Please, just get rid of this fucking notch.
I'll join your cult. I'll join your satanic cult.
Yeah, but pseudo get rid of my notch? Nope.
I will eat a ghost pepper. I give no fucks. The notch is so bad. It is bad. I would get the 3, even though it's not as like edge to edge as the Pixel 2 XL is. I would still get the 3. Okay, so going down this list, Google Lens is now in camera. That's cool. That's not really a thing that sticks out to me. Whatever. That's nice.
More of an Android 9 Pie thing than it is like a Pixel 3 thing, yeah.
I mean, it's cool. Again,
it is cool.
Google Photos unlimited storage. That's great. I still use my unlimited storage from my Pixel, like from my iPhone. So just download the Google Photos app and upload them there.
Because why pay for iCloud storage when you just get the Google Photos app?
Yeah. And it's like, iCloud's like, hey, you're running out. Hey, you're running out. Hey, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's really annoying. So I like that a lot. Okay, so the most, I guess, like flashy new feature that people are talking about that we're still unsure about, I would say personally, is this call screen feature.
Yeah, call screening. That's also the Pixel 2 XL as well.
Really?
Yeah, which I'm so excited for.
Was it the only the XL or the Pixel 2?
I keep saying XL because that's the phone that I have.
Oh, okay.
Pixel 2 as well. If I say XL again, I'm just talking about the Pixel 2.
Okay.
In general, that line.
So this, I'm not 1,000% sure how it works, but and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to try. So it's like if someone's calling, you can just like you have the option to screen the call, and then Google Assistant will be like, "Hey, who the fuck is this?" And they'll be like, "I'm so and so. I need such and such," and it'll transcribe the call on your screen. And then I guess you can choose to respond with whatever options Google gives you on screen, right?
Yep, pretty much, yeah.
But it's bizarre, like how. I don't know.
Like, if you ever gotten a number for, like, keep getting a call from an unknown number, or not an unknown number, but like a number you it's not in your address book, but you don't recognize it.
Yeah, I just don't pick up.
Oh, they keep calling, yeah. So when you don't have a number in your contacts and they're calling you, it'll just have the screen call option. I think it'd be really funny though if it showed up when your friends call. I would just have like screen calls from my friends.
So it doesn't?
This better be good, Daniel. Why are you calling?
That would be amazing. What do you want, Mom? Oh, I wouldn't do that to my mom.
Did you see? There's like a really good Funny or Die sketch where they do the Google Duplex thing, but just to call your parents so you don't have to.
That would be amazing.
It's a really good sketch. You guys should check it out at some point.
Yeah, I would love that. Mom, I love you. So that's interesting. The one thing I really like, and I hope that they've implemented it well, is this flip to shh thing.
Yes.
So the idea is simply you flip your phone screen down and it'll silence all sounds and notifications. That's it. And
I can't wait. Actually, I think I should have that already because it's part of digital well-being.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Test it out and get back to me. I would love to see how it works because obviously you don't want like your alarms silenced, but like.
Well, I think it just turns Do Not Disturb on.
Oh, I see.
So it'll just function the same way Do Not Disturb does.
That's fantastic.
But here's the thing: is how well does it work? Like,
right?
How well is it at detecting if it's down or not?
And I would love to know like. What is the difference between like screen is face down on a table versus like I'm in a movie theater and it's dark as fuck? Or something like that. I guess that's the same premise, though. Like, you still want your phone to shut the fuck up in that context. Or like my pocket and it's dark. What about that?
I think how they do it, and this is just my own conjecture, if light is visible from the rear camera but not the front camera.
That's and also it might be like a gyroscopic thing where like if it's still.
Mm-hmm. The accelerometer. That's what I was thinking, because I got deja vu when I heard about this because my OnePlus 2 had this. It was just really shitty is the thing. Like it sometimes it would flip, would think, oh, you flipped the phone and you just like barely shake it. And sometimes you'd just be flipping it back and forth and it wouldn't mute. Like, I really don't want to talk to this person. Just fling the phone away.
This checks out. This sounds like OnePlus.
Yeah, but this isn't anything revolutionary. It's just, I guess, Google spin on it.
Yeah. I do like it though. I'd like that. And I want to know, like again, how well it's going to work. Like if it's going to work shitty like that OnePlus one, or if it's going to detect it every time without fail. Also, I'm curious, like if I'm playing music out loud on the speakers and I flip it, is it going to turn my speakers off? Like probably not. I don't know.
I don't think that would interfere with Disturb, so I think it should be fine. But I think it works so well as a gesture because think about how many times you've kind of done that already. That gesture of like, oh, I'm having dinner with you. I'm not looking at my phone. Here, I'm flipping it upside down. That's how much I'm not paying attention to it.
Yep. And I love
it's a really natural gesture.
That's another Apple.
Yes.
Exactly.
They're thinking like Jobs.
Yeah, it does, and it does feel. I agree that it does feel like something Apple should have come up with, but it also feels like it doesn't feel like Apple. I don't know, in a way that I can't necessarily verbalize. I don't know. This feels like something that Apple has long since not learned how to be intuitive at.
Like somewhere around 2011.
Yeah, somewhere around Jobs dead.
Dark jokes.
Somewhere around Steve Jobs go bye-bye. Yeah, I don't know. And even in the Jobsian Apple, this is something that they may have thought of, but not necessarily. I don't know. And I like seeing Google pick up that sort of like intuitive mental, as it were.
It was actually these kind of things that brought me to get a Pixel 2, is seeing the flip over to shush the phone. Like those little things, I'm like, oh, this is where that's happening now. I should go there.
There's a lot of people who are also former, and I guess we'll go to I'll use this to segue into the prices and the size of the memory. I was talking to my my new coworker, who's also a designer. He's a musician and kind of an audiophile, and I think his girlfriend uses a Pixel 2, and he was saying like, I actually am like super interested in a Pixel 2, even though I've been like iPhone my whole life, just because I have a really old iPhone. I think he has like a 6S or something, and he was like, the one thing keeping me from getting a Pixel, and this kind of plays into, again, the price and the memory, is that because he's a audiophile, like uses iTunes to download all his music, and it's a fuck ton of music that he has on his phone at any time. And the memory option, the highest memory option for Pixel 2 and Pixel 3 is only 128 gigabytes.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And so, yeah, I guess
no
we'll just talk about
512 like iPhones.
I know, 512 is fucking ridiculous, but like 256, like, come on. Or like expandable, they'll never do expandable. But like,
sorry, this thought just hit me right now. Totally off topic, kind of. All right, most expensive iPad we just talked about was $1,200.
Yeah.
The most expensive iPhone's $1,500. Think about that.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. Is that
paying for the smallness?
XS,
no, exactly,
XS Max or whatever?
The iPhone tennis match.
Tennis match. iPhone Mario Aces. Mario Tennis Aces. Okay, so the pricing on these phones, it's $800 for the 64 gigabyte on the Pixel 3. Sorry, I almost said iPhone. iPhone 3. For the Pixel 3, $800, 64 gigs, and then for the larger, the Pixel 3 XL, which no one should get, it's $900 for the 64 gigabyte, and then I guess $1,000 for the 128.
Yeah.
It really makes me hate that there's no expandable storage on these things, but that's not going to end as a trend.
Well, that's just Google's everything's in the cloud mentality.
That's fair, yeah.
But it doesn't work for the audiophile who wants to not download his music.
Right. I mean, it's also like the I want to make money mentality.
Right.
I don't know. The most profitable part of Apple's business is storage.
Yeah, there you go.
True.
So I don't know. Like, I'm not talking cloud storage. I'm talking phone storage, Mac storage.
Wait, what?
Think about how much money. No, seriously. Think about how much money you spend on storage on Apple products. It's so profitable for them.
Oh, right. That's my point. Is that like, yeah. Is that it's not expandable? Exactly. Yep. This is why I built a Hackintosh. Anyway, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I have nothing else to say about these phones. I don't know if you guys do.
No. Not really, honestly. They look good, like in terms of functionality and features.
Yeah,
just the notch is terrible.
I think like as like a finishing point. So I don't know. It's really interesting in terms of all the first looks we've seen and like what we've seen from the presentation. And it seems like a somewhat more polished version of the Pixel 2. Speaking generally, it seems like if we're going to use iPhone parlance, it seems like an S version. Of the previous phone, seems like a 2S.
Yeah, very, very much so. Although I will say that features like the call screening and the duplex and the zoom out selfie thing, I do think that those are nicer additions to a phone than we've seen from other phone launches this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Totally. The one thing that I'm wary
still
about,
small. But good.
Good. Like incremental. No, you good.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm wary about, and again, other than the motherfucking notch, the one thing that has me like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get this, is the fact that the RAM is only 4 gigabytes. And
really, still?
Yeah, the same as last year. And Android phones coming out this year have like 6-ish as a minimum.
The OnePlus has 8 gigs. And it's a $500 phone.
I know. The OnePlus is cheaper and has way more gigs. The camera's garbage, but you get what you pay for, I suppose.
Yeah. It's a spec phone. It's not a camera phone.
Right, exactly. And that, because like an iPhone RAM doesn't really fucking matter because Apple has their shit on lock. Quite literally, like it's locked down. But with the Android open source project, because Android has to support all these other hardware options, RAM is very, very necessary. And 4 gigabytes of RAM is not that much for an Android phone these days. And there have been I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have much lag, but there have been some lag complaints with the Pixel 2.
Yeah, I haven't had anything too much myself, but I also got this phone in July, so it hasn't been too long.
What about you?
Mine's losing battery life, but honestly, no lag at all.
Okay, good. I know a vast majority of people don't have that problem.
Do you use the assistive battery feature in Android 9?
Well, so that's my thing. I was going to say, I'm actually not sold on the Pixel 3 because it's got Android 9, and this is kind of a dumb reason for it. But I really don't like how they took out call recording. You cannot record calls anymore. And I just feel like the utility of that, in a world where so much shit can be said with baseless accusations and all this crap, and you talk to your bank and they screw you over, I don't know, just little shit. I feel like that. But you can download an app that'll do that, though, right? No. So the thing is, all those apps, all the call recording apps, have been disabled. They had a workaround where you can record. You make a fake Bluetooth device and you have the phone cast to the Bluetooth device and do it like that. That's what they do right now in Android 8. In Android 9, all that's patched away. So you cannot record your phone calls. And that's the Pixel 3, again, it's a good upgrade. It's got new features. And, if my phone were going to crap out on me anytime soon, I might upgrade to it. But right now, I'm not inclined to make the switch just because...
and you have a Pixel 1 or 2?
I have a Pixel 2, but I'm still hanging back on Android 8. I haven't upgraded. Swiping away the notification.
Yeah.
That is such a niche thing, but I get it.
I'm just opposed to it's just a freedom thing. They're taking that away. I want my call recording.
I feel you.
And you can root your phone, of course, and do that, but I'm also averse to rooting my phone, so I'm kind of caught in the bind.
I'm not saying this as a suggestion for you, but is there a way to pay for that? And that might be the reason why it's
so there were rumors that Google was going to have a full call recording, a revisioning of their call recording API, which they actually got rid of a long time back in Android 4 or something like that. There were rumors that they were looking into something that would comply with all the laws, and so it would have an audible beep.
Right.
Kind of I think Google Voice has.
Yeah, because that was what I was thinking. It was a liability or a
right.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of a disconnect in that they trash call recording right away, but they haven't done much on this ticket that they've raised a while back. So it might be in the works. I'll wait and see, but I don't know. Again, I'm not a fan of the reason I got Android phones is because I'm a fan of everything being as open as possible. But I also like it when it's supported. So rooting my phone, but Google taking away my freedoms also,
Dang.
So that kind of chilled me a bit from the Pixel 3. Not to say that it's not a great phone.
Right. That's such a niche thing, but also
really
I feel you on the removing features that you like thing.
It's my moral stance.
Yeah, I feel you. It's why are you taking this option away from me, you fuckers? I totally feel you. Well, fuck it. I think that's a good place to end the podcast. So before we do, Holden, go ahead and plug yourself.
Yo, Holden DePardo here for Respawn Aim Fire. It's a video game podcast every Tuesday with my co-host, or actually, he's my host. I don't want to say co-host. Chad Innes. He's also been on here before. If you've listened to, was it 2 episodes ago he was on here?
Yeah,
2 episodes ago.
Yep. Yoon, I don't think you have anything to plug.
Don't follow me. Don't look for me. I like my privacy. I think I said this last time. I don't have any public social media, and I'm going to keep it that way.
There you go. You got it here.
That is the life, man. You're probably way happier than everybody else, too.
I had my Google Plus account, and they got rid of it, which is great, because now everything else is locked down. I'm almost done deleting Facebook. As soon as I burn all those bridges, I'm out.
There you go. You heard it here. Respawn Aim Fire, and don't follow him anywhere.
Someone's going to look for a podcast called Don't Follow Me Anywhere.
Repetitive sedatives like every veteran, never remembering, ever degenerate. Instead of forgetting and letting them live in the setting like sediment, I'm that part. Mix it up with 6 Sky, Rage Against Machine, bit of J-Rock, K-Dot. Switch it up, gangsta. I'll get in on my stage props. Dilla with the beats and catch me singing like
As always, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Techquila.
Mama call me Yeshua, running out of time with the Harry Potter headscarf. I ain't got a desk job.
For the regular listeners, I'd like to thank you for your support and ask that you please help us to continue to improve the show by heading over to our Patreon page and donating $1 a month.
Head farts, yeah, that's for all your gum smack, mud flap, scuzzbag, unwrapped sex.
By donating just $1 a month, you'll really be helping us out, and you'll get Techquila closer to hitting our goal of $30 per month.
Yeah, this is how I rap before I hit it. Top shit, but I still respect women.
Once that goal is reached, I personally will be designing and sending each of you a Techquila branded shot glass or two to show my appreciation. So head over to patreon.com/Techquila to support the show. That's Patreon, which is spelled patreon.com/Techquila.
Like egregious kids are just in front and like you Jesus and elitist pimps come from Mars and bitches come from Venus. The way I see us is my strength is all your weakness. Treat them like a hedonist. Every obstacle defeated. Preach it, I'ma see to it.
Remember, you can submit topics for the show and interact with me and guests on the subreddit, which is found at reddit.com/r/Techquila.
That's for all your joke rap, smoke ploys. That's for all your go brag, no have, low grab. Oh.
You can follow Techquila on Twitter for the latest hot takes on tech news at TechQuilaCast.
Watch list that did it. Yeah, this is how I rap before I hit it. Talk shit, but I still respect women.
The Techquila theme song is Ride Out by Yeshua, which is spelled YSHWA. You can also find him online as Vincent Augustus. Thanks, y'all.
Ride out. They ain't praising my same. My